there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking love in marriage, Huntsville. You guys know why you are here. Today we are talking another false narrative that was being projected on tonight's Messy Monday with Carlos King and Dr. Heavenly. And I feel like now I'm in the place where I have to fact check everything. I have to debunk the fake news and the fakery that is being projected on these episodes, and people who don't know the backstory, people who have not been paying attention to the show since the beginning, people who have not been paying attention to all of the events that Mel has been booked and busy for months, can easily just throw dirt on her name and throw shade at her, right? So they're referencing the Marceau and Tisha conversation where she's so upset that, she was crying because she was so upset that Mel is not able to attend the Black with the QUE Expo, in which there was all types of chaos that I did several videos on, from the advertising and the details and everything else. Mel said she had a prior engagement, right? And so then Dr. Heavenly is like, oh, of course she did. And then mentions how Dr. Jackie's always booked and busy and she's always on call because she's a doctor. So she doesn't make it to all of the events because when you're on call, you have to be, and this is like if you're a nurse that works in surgery or you're a doctor or whatever that works in surgery, you have to be so many miles away from the hospital in the event that there's an emergency procedure that they need to call you in. So if there's like an event that's like an hour away and you are on call and have to be somewhere within like that 20 to 30 minute window, you can't be out here filming at all these events because that's, you're gonna be late. You're gonna miss that emergency procedure, essentially. So nonetheless, and again, for some reason, Carlos King is trying to like clown this and make fun of Mel and trying to basically, I took it as they're trying to imply that Mel does not want to film with this cast, which would then further push the narrative that Mel is trying to isolate her own self from the cast, which isn't true, right? And so then, of course, then Dr. Heavenly, I felt like she was throwing shade because she was like, well, Dr. Jackie is a world-class doctor, and we know that Melody Cherie is a well-known speaker and couldn't attend that night. And I'm like, I don't like where this is going, right? But nonetheless, I wanted to pull up receipts because I wanted to show you the date that this Nels Party thing was filmed versus the date when Mel announced her original commitment that she had back in January, and Letitia and Marceau and others didn't announce anything about the Black with the QUE Expo until like the beginning of February, you guys. So it would indicate that Letitia would have known for at least a couple of weeks that there was no way Mel was going to be able to attend, but is using this again as a storyline to cry wolf on camera to make it look like Mel wants nothing to do with her when you knew in advance that she wasn't going to be able to attend in the first place. So let's take a look. So for context, I screen grab everything that the cast post about, the cast promotes about, because in the event there's something shady or something messy or whatever, I want to always have the receipts to refer back to in the event something crazy like what was trying to be implied in tonight's episode of Messy Monday occurs, in which I need to change the narrative, right? So nonetheless, Mel announced her Sippin' Success event that was going to be on February 23rd. She had been announcing it per my own receipt. She started announcing it January 23rd, and actually that was a repost from somebody else. So nonetheless, we have known since at least the end of January about this Sippin' Success, right? The Black with the QUE Expo, with the original date saying February 23rd to February 24th, with all of the terrible advertising, began on February 2nd. Is when, and the post that I have, the screen grab I have, is Kimmy's post, actually, where she's like reposting their announcement of the Black with a QUE Business Expo. Now, I find it interesting that Letitia all of a sudden is upset that Mel is not going to be able to attend the Black with a QUE Expo, when prior to, she told you guys the last season that if you wanted her to speak, you needed to pay her some dinero. You had to pay her some dollars. So why are you shocked that she declined again on this Black with a QE Expo? And why are you pressed that she's booked and busy, right? But nonetheless, you know, I posted these screen grabs for a reason. And then also the event of Mel's party, at least when Mel posted the outfit where she's wearing that purple jumpsuit, was on February 7th. So again, that was a few weeks after the initial announcement and promotion of the Sip and Success event, in which they would have filmed together, and perhaps maybe Letitia asked her then, right? Like, hey, we're having the Black with the QUE Expo. I would like for you to come, blah, 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 blah. But then I wanted to, again, back then, I noticed even with the first event, right? Because remember, they tried to give that excuse on camera that they didn't want to attend the podcast because they said that they didn't want to get beat up by the millimeters. They didn't want to get jumped by the millimeters. However, somehow Stormy Steele was able to attend. But nonetheless, I am tired of these false narratives making it seem as though Mel is purposefully booking things in advance so that she doesn't have to work or that she doesn't have to film. Because remember Super Bowl weekend, which was also the weekend of the Lovers and Friends event. Remember that Mel had a whole bunch of Super Bowl engagements and events that she had paid events for that were scheduled. And remember, they called Mel because they wanted her to work. And remember, Mel was upset on social media about that because she was like, you know, I turned down paid engagements this weekend and I'm not about to fool around with this tomfoolery. And I think they were going to try to potentially force a Mel and Telsey. That's what I truly believe, because there would be no other circumstances in which Mel would refuse to film, right? Unless they were trying to pull a fast one on her as it pertained to her ex-husband. And I'm wondering if they were still trying to force Mel to attend this Lovers and Friends event, even though, as we saw per the last episode, Stormy let Mel know in advance that she was inviting Martell. Therefore, Mel was not going to be able to attend. Not besides the fact she wants nothing to do with him, but also they can't be in contact, right? So nonetheless, I have no idea why, again, this is being framed as Mel is isolating herself from the cast. Mel doesn't want to film with the cast. Mel doesn't like the cast. This is why Mel doesn't have any friends. This is why nobody likes her. This is why people want to move on from the show from Mel. This is why this is going to be Mel's last season, and blah, 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 blah. But it's not true. Mel posts months in advance all of the things that she's got going on for the next few months, because in addition to this post beginning in February, she was posting everything that she had going on all the way through May. All of her charitable events. She literally posted after this, I think the beginning of February, the Hill Harper event. There was already, you know, the ads and stuff were already done, right? And the guest speakers were already pre-planned for all of this. So I have no idea why Tisha is acting brand new as if Mel's just not wanting to go. See, when you're booked and busy and when you have several prior engagements already scheduled, you can't just cancel out everything, you know, to accommodate people, right? And you and Mel haven't even been on the best of terms. And oh, by the way, your mom is still actively dragging Melody Cherie Rogers every chance she gets, and twice on Sunday. So why should Mel attend? Knowing that there's a high chance that your mom, who's been disrespecting Mel, is also going to be in attendance doing the most, right? Like, at some point, we've got to start using our thinking caps. We have to start critically thinking. And again, this is what I mean when people have larger platforms and with hundreds and thousands of followers, that they can just say this tomfoolery and make it stick, right? So the rain drizzlers and the raindrops can think, oh my gosh, Mel is so difficult to work with. Mel is being, you know, so stuck up and so above this cast. Why is she here? And it's the same type of narrative they tried to push conveniently, Dr. Heavenly and Carlos King, with Mariah Huq. from Married to Medicine. It was the same type of buffoonery. Everybody changed up. When Mariah was the one who was instrumental in all these people being on the show, these were personal friends of hers, personal recommendations of her, and they get on camera and say that Mariah's being stuck up, Mariah's acting too good for the cast, and Mariah's calling the show Mariah to Medicine or whatever, right? And they got in their feelings and banded together to try to get her kicked off the show, which ultimately ended up happening a couple of times. But nonetheless, the same cycle's repeating itself here for Mel, right? And remember also in Real Housewives of Atlanta, remember when Kandi in the later seasons started to get a lot more booked and busy, started to have a lot more events, right? Was filming shows, was, reuniting with Escape, was also filming the Escape reality show, was filming the Old Lady Gang reality show, had multiple restaurants and all of these things. And we saw less and less of Kandi at several things. She tried to attend as much stuff as she could, but over time, she was booked and busy. So instead of filming her in group scenes, they would film her on location at all of these other events that she had going on. But Letitia trying to present this as to make it as though it's something personal against her is completely and utterly ridiculous. And again, this is how false narratives and false, implications can be spread about somebody, and it's not okay. So there is that. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.